when you think about what legato means, it means that that each note is getting full value, right? So that means that there's no silence between two notes.
Right.
And if you think, what does that mean in terms of making or playing the notes? It means that physically you're changing from one note to the next instantaneously.
Right.
So the technique involved with playing legato is the training of the left hand, right hand coordination, so that you can move from one note to the next, and there's absolutely no break in between those notes. And that is an interesting thing because it has a lot to illuminate about what it means to play tempo as well. Because if you're playing legato, it doesn't matter how slow the tempo is or how fast it is. The space in between two notes at either tempo is instantaneous. So it kind of reveals that, like, as physically, in terms of technique, there is no difference between playing slow or playing fast. It's only that you're playing more often.
I see.
When you're playing fast. So it's a fascinating thing to kind of understand that, because then you can change your conception of thinking that, when you're playing fast, you're all of a sudden have to play differently from how you play slow. And when you train to play legato, it means that you have no waste in your technique, because you're training yourself to be completely coordinated, so that you can change from one note to the next instantaneously. So that in and of itself is training you to play at speed. That'll train you for tempo, because then it's the same thing. So that's one thing about it that's really cool.
So the significance of the clean part of the legato. So a lot of the legato players we know, like Alan Holdsworth or Brett Garcet, or there's a lot of guys. Tom Quayle, as far as a more modern player, they always play with distortion. Or a lot of overdrive, which seems to facilitate an aspect of that. Another great legato player that I actually just interviewed is Marshall Harrison, who has tremendous facility and technique, but it's always overdriven.
Right.
So is the clean part of this clean legato, is that in reference to the tone of the guitar and the sort of effects that you would use, or is it more in reference to the clarity of the lines that you're playing?
I don't know. You said clean legato.
Okay, all right. So now you're because I don't hear you play with I don't hear you play with a lot of like distortion. Usually, it's usually pretty clear. But but you're also playing a lot of legato. You're not necessarily picking every note, right? And I know, at least with when I hear like Alan Holdsworth, for instance, who famously, or maybe infamously, on one of his educational videos said that he doesn't really like the guitar, and he would have preferred to play the saxophone, but his, but his father wouldn't buy him a saxophone or whatever, so guitar was less expensive. So here you're playing guitar now,
So he was always motivated to try to just transcend it.
Right, to try to sound like a saxophone player, which makes total sense. He loves Coltrane. You can hear that.